Now some cherries.
Okay.
You gotta get the microchip or something. The dogs.
Frank, you don't got to say your last name
I
ever.
have been doing
Okay.
this. I opened it.
Decide you want to put it on the channel. But yeah, you got a paranormal story?
My best paranormal experience I've ever had. Actually, the only one I've ever had. This happened at Muller's Crossroads, in just outside of Shepherdstown, West Virginia, which is where that show from the Shepherdstown Ghost Stories are.
Right.
You seen that? It's an AMC thing. This happened in the same general vicinity, within probably 3 miles of that town.
Right.
And I pulled up to Muller's Crossroads, and I saw this light hovering just above a cornfield. And I stopped my truck, and I looked at it, and I was like, "That is so bizarre." And then, as I was sitting there, the light turned at me, and there was like 6 lights facing me. And that's when I shut my vehicle off. And I'm like, wow, this is so bizarre. And it was total quiet. This is like, I would say 50 yards from me.
Right.
These lights turned totally quiet from, or totally sideways to me. And they just went right over the mountain and down in absolute silence. And they were just right in front of me. And I've never seen like this, like prior to the whole, the electronic, what do you call that? The little helicopters everyone's got with their
Drones.
The drones,
Drones,
yeah. Prior to the drones. This is in 1997.
Right.
And I watched that thing turn at me.
How big was
Still,
it? Estimation.
40 yards wide.
40 yards wide?
Yeah.
Pretty big.
Yeah, absolutely
Huge.
not. Yeah, absolutely not small.
What was the shape of it?
It was straight across. 5 lights straight across, maybe 6.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like what Jeff saw.
and it was absolute science because they're
Different color lights?
No, all one color.
White.
And when I was sitting there,
What color was the light?
like a whitish yellow,
Okay.
and it's the silence that's uncanny
Yeah.
because there is, this is
like
at
a vacuum,
1
yeah.
o'clock in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
And there's just absolute silence. There's nothing like horns beeping or cars
Yeah.
going by. It's
Yeah.
absolute silence. And I saw that over that field.
Call it the Oz effect.
Right.
Yeah.
And I wasn't alone. I had a buddy of mine with me, and we were like,
Yeah, but he's finishing his story.
Oh,
real
I'm
quick.
sorry. I didn't
and we were
realize.
like, what the hell was that? And I was like, look, I don't know what the hell that was, but I thought it was like some kind of government thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I could.
How long was the duration of the sighting?
I don't know, probably a solid like 2-3 minutes. It wasn't fast. It was
Right.
like it was sitting there hovering. There's not a helicopter. It wasn't.
How far off the ground?
How far off the ground?
So you saw a light bar,
Yeah,
but you couldn't see the craft itself.
This is over the top of a cornfield. I don't
Oh,
know.
cornfield.
100 yards away.
Typical.
I don't know. I would say maybe 100 to 200 feet off the ground.
Right.
But it was silent.
In the middle of
It
nowhere.
was the silence. That's what stopped me in my tracks.
Right.
Was the silence of it. There was no sound being.
I always wonder what is under the ground that they would be interested in there. Well, they're not interested in the corn.
Well,
I would say.
I know the folks that have the fields there near me. They have there was a mine there, but I think they filled that with trash. I mean, other than that, there was nothing but corn. Like in any one of those other fields, maybe soybeans at certain times of the year.
Right.
I don't know, but it was at Muller's Crossroads in Shepherdstown, West Virginia. And still, I'm like, I've got goosebumps. You telling this story. This is when I was 22, 21 years old.
Did you notice anything odd afterwards, like any missing time
No.
or extra beard growth or anything like that? Or
No, it was the
Fingernails longer?
It was the silence that did it for me.
How long ago was this?
20 years,
20 years ago.
absolutely.
And you had somebody with you?
To this day, there's nothing to explain what happened to me that one day. At that moment, I've never had any other paranormal experience. I've
Really?
got friends with old houses, like my buddy's house was from the 1780s at that time.
Right.
And I've had my uncle's house was like from the 1880s. Never had any kind of paranormal experience with that one. That one still sends chills up my spine when I saw that, because there's a mountain in between. There's no way it could have been like miles away.
Right.
There was a mountain in between. It was over top of this cornfield, and that was for
So
sure.
what do you think? What kind of a chance do you think it was an alien craft?
It was a silent craft.
Silent craft.
It was
So you can't really reach out
something-
and say it's an alien.
No, because I couldn't see anything of it.
Yeah.
Just the lights.
Just
But
the lights.
absolute 100% silence is what I couldn't believe.
So what the light bar do when it started to go over the hill? Did it do anything
So
crazy?
when I saw it, I was like, "What the hell was that?" When I came up to the stop sign, there was one light, and it turned just like this, and there was 5 lights, and it just turned back around and went like that. Not fast, like you see a lot of the UFO like
Right.
things going on where they're like, shooting off in like 4
Right.
Gs or 10 Gs. I don't know.
Right.
It was slow, but it was silent,
Yeah.
and it was at 12 o'clock in the middle of the night.
With
It
the light-
wasn't like a drunken night or anything like that. It was
Right.
it was literally just like something that I will remember for the rest of my life.
Were the lights straight across, or were they in a?
They were 100 when they
shape?
turned. It was 100% straight across. All of them straight.
So when it
across.
turned, what was the craft dark, and then you saw
it
the
was all
lights?
dark. I never saw anything but the lights.
Right.
But it was and just
Were the lights round?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Not blinking. Nothing was
not
blinking.
blinking. No, absolutely.
No
not.
green light. No,
No,
red
no,
light.
no,
nothing.
no.
So no FFA lights.
No.
Yeah.
Actually, my father was an inspector for the FAA.
Right. So you know what you're looking
yeah.
at. So 40 yards across.
Yeah. 40 yards across. Yeah. It was
So
big.
about 120 feet, roughly.
Yeah, it was big.
How tall? How wide?
Because the field at the very furthest point of the field, maybe in half a mile, it was over top of that field. So
Right. So how high was it? How thick was it?
how
One
thick-
story, 2 story, 3 story?
I mean,
You gauge by the light. You probably couldn't tell. You just look at the lights. So you
yeah,
couldn't see the
it
craft.
was so bizarre. We just couldn't figure it out, and it just went
Pitch
it just-
black night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Happens all the time. I've seen it a few times like that. Me and Jeff saw him down in the
That
Everglades.
was my only one time. Never had anything else other than that.
Cool. Okay, I'll wrap it up and send you a link.
Sure.
So you see. Yeah.